you coming out with a podcast that you've been doing a lot of, right? And your podcast has continued to evolve, and you've continued to evolve, self-betterment, communication, right? Just you and I having a conversation. This is communication. This is at the heart of it. I think someone could have a podcast for the simple fact, or the simple going down this journey of being a better communicator, right? If you hear yourself talking, if you have conversations with people, you're going to put yourself under pressure. You're going to put yourself in this situation. So it's interesting because I came to learn about you. We were sitting down in our conference room, and I'd gotten introduced to someone who was one of the leaders at Kids in Seats. It was Lademann. And for whatever reason, she just dropped her name. She says, I think the founder of our company is going to be on Rob Cressy's podcast. And he's here. That was it. And so I had to go out to lunch that day because I had to take a break because I was in back-to-back meetings. I go to lunch, go to this Vietnamese restaurant on the street. It's pretty awesome. It was really quiet because it was late in the day. And I just pull up your podcast, and I listen to it, and I listen to it, and I listen to it. Bill Rasmussen, ESPN founder, Eric Kasimov from the Columbus Crew, Adam White from Front Office Sports, and the list goes on and on and on. Rob, when I tell you that I just took in and consumed your content on your podcast, I really did. It wasn't a joke. It was real. It was genuine. And that's when I had reached out to you and said, man, this is really awesome. We even, put a blog post out there talking about your podcast, because it was like, man, here's someone putting out good vibes. So when I go back and I think about when I started listening to podcasts, it's when I started thinking about starting my own business. And this is about 6-7 years ago. It's when I realized that if I was having negative thoughts, I needed to put positive thoughts in my head. I doubled down on reading. I doubled down on listening to books. I started to go into the podcast world and continue to evolve to a point where we created our own podcast, because I wanted to talk to people like you. So there's a lot of things. There's leverage there because I can, hey, Rob, I can chat with you now because we both have a podcast. The point is, podcasting is an incredible resource. And there's so many different reasons as to why you even have a podcast that we've even touched on here. But I came across, and then what I got to know is before I ever talked to you, I knew your voice. I knew what you believed in. I knew your thoughts. I knew your positive vibes. So when I got on the phone with you, it kind of goes back to the thing that we talked about at the beginning, is that we're already past like all this other stuff. We can just jump right into all these different conversations. There is nothing like it right now. And I truly mean that, because I've lived it, and we've helped other people with podcasting. I know you have as well. I've watched other people live it, and it's an amazing experience. But I just have to say that being able to consume this content and hear some of the thoughts that I just talked about in the different episodes that you've had has helped me out. I know it's helped other people out. And that's why we're talking today, because this is real, man. This is what it's all about. And it's the beginning of the journey of having a relationship. And you don't even have to say, well, what does that even mean? What does that relationship mean? It doesn't have to mean anything. It could just mean you and I have this conversation, and that could be the end of it. And that's cool, because I can learn a lot from here.